All right, what's going on, guys? Today is Wednesday, March 4th of 2020. It is 5:16 my time, 23:16 UTC. So right here before the daily open. In today's video, I'm just going to discuss Bitcoin, give you my thoughts on it, highlight some of the trade setups and levels that I'm looking at. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So on the monthly time frame here, I have the monthly open marked out, which we are currently above the monthly open. We have set a bottom wick here below the open, just at that low. And then I have the most recent high using candle bodies, so the highest candle close. I have that marked out as resistance, and then I have the top and bottom of this candle as support and resistance as well. The reason being, I've explained this in quite a few videos, but if you look here, we have the up move before the consolidation, and the breakdown that broke the lows, and then on the retest we broke that level, closed above it, and it held as support here all throughout here, and then we moved higher. So the same thing kind of here. We have an up move or consolidation before the down move that broke the lows. Price comes to retest it and we close above it, and then we're hoping the bottom of this holds on a retest as support. So right now we've kind of front run that level twice here on the monthly time frame, but it's at 8,300, so that's a key support level. If we close below that on the monthly time frame, then I think that'd be super bearish, because the next low for me would be down here around 7K, and that doesn't look very. I'm not sure if that would hold or what, but I don't know. We'll cross that whenever we get there, but for now, as long as we are closing above 8,300 on the monthly time frame, then the monthly time frame is bullish in my opinion. So let's go ahead and go to the weekly. I have let's see, this low marked out. It was the lowest close of the consolidation. See, we use it as resistance here, right here on this retest, and then price closed above it, use it as support, and then we close below it again. I have this level marked out, basically just this highest close of this consolidation here. And then I have the weekly open marked out as well, which we are above the weekly open. I think the weekly and monthly opens are the same level, 1 day apart, but I think that, yeah, both of those opens are the same price. So we did set a lower wick on the weekly time frame, or the weekly as well. So, we did set the lower wick on the monthly and the weekly, and now we are above the opens. So usually, if we do set that lower wick and price is above the opens, then usually it will trend up, and vice versa for the opposite. I also have this highest close of this consolidation range marked out as support here on the weekly time frame. If we were to get a weekly close below, what is that, 8,300, we may see 7,500, but for now we're not there yet. So yeah, we still have to test this level. I think we could come down here to test 8,300 at some point in the near future, like within the next couple weeks, but I'm looking for that level to hold. As long as it holds, then I think high time frame, we're still looking decent on the monthly. Let's see. We do have quite a few levels of resistance above here. We have the monthly level here, monthly level here, and then the weekly level. So if we were to get say we do start trending up again and we closed above 95.30, which is this low, I think that would be super bullish, because we would have cleared all of those levels and kind of like a clean SR flip. But for now, I think in the short term, we do have some resistance levels above that, we probably won't break through on the first try. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us kind of ranging between like mid 9Ks and 83K. That's kind of the range I'm looking for us to be in for the next, month or two, I would say. So, those are kind of just the key levels that I have right now. We can go ahead and go to the daily time frame here, and I think the only levels or only things I have marked on the daily that are different are this demand zone here. So you can see it's the lowest consolidation before this up move that, let's see, how big was that move from the bottom to, you could say here, but 13, around 13% of just, 3 straight green candles going up. So that's a pretty decent demand zone. Not very much time spent down here and then a large reaction away. You can see that price came, barely front run to here, pushed up. It was holding this weekly level as support here for a few candles. Then price closes below that weekly level, comes down here to test the demand zone. It takes out this low right here. Then price pushes back up, closes above that weekly level. And if you'll notice here, using candle bodies for market structure, like I do, you would mark out this high. This isn't a really significant high, but it is the most recent high that I would count. And price did close above it here. So kind of like a under over pattern. You can see we have support. Price comes under that support level, takes out the low, closes back above that support level, and takes out this high. Kind of like a breaker as well. But we can hold here on the daily time frame. I think in the short term we could possibly do something like this, like move up into one of these resistance levels and then come back down. And one of my main strategies is using candle closes around key levels. So now that we are back above this level, I would expect price to go up until it finds a resistance level or until it closes below this level on the daily time frame. So if we close below that, I would be looking down here at 8,300. But now, as long as we are above it, and we are, above the monthly and the weekly opens as well, I think we could be in for some upside here shortly. I don't know if we'll get it this week, the next few days, or when, but yeah, I would be looking for price to move up into some of these resistance levels. I think it'd be a good shorting opportunity up here, depending on how far it goes. If we do push up into some of these levels, like a large wick, and then close back below them, that could mean that price is going to reverse. But if we start pushing into it, close above it here, then I would look for the next one. And if it closes above that, I would look for the next one. So basically within this range here, I think the ideal short setup would be up here at 95.30, but I'm not sure if we're going to get that with these 2 monthly levels kind of in the way right now. So, the way I trade, I don't really have like a set level that I'm going to take a short at and place a limit at, because I just like to see how price reacts to my levels before taking a trade, because in the past just leaving limit orders at key levels doesn't always work, or hasn't worked for me very well. So that's why if you watch my analysis videos, I kind of just give you multiple levels to look at and see how price reacts, and then give you trade ideas off of that. So I think you could also draw a bearish channel here. Like if you were to use, like, maybe you could use this low or this low. I'm just gonna mark it out, see how it looks for a second, see if it lines up. Yeah, I could kind of see something like that. Excuse me. So you can see taking like these lows, lining up the candle closes. So this kind of lines up here. You can see it uses as support clearly here. But then it lines up pretty well if you use, let me turn this on. However you wanted to do it, but basically using these lowest closes and these highest closes up here, you can see that the middle of the channel looks like it's getting respected here. So, you can see that it's pretty interesting. You can see if we reuse these highs and lows, and this was the middle of the channel, you can see that price respects it on a closing basis all throughout here. And then as soon as price closes below the middle of that channel right there, right, retest it as resistance and immediately find the bottom of the channel. So that's pretty interesting to see how price reacts to these channels and stuff like that, even on a closing basis. That's pretty interesting to me. But anyways, I'm kind of rambling on now. Let's go ahead and look at like H4 real quick. And yeah, see, to me, this looks like it could go up from here. You can see we have a range. Let me just make this white real quick. So I have this high and this low marked out as the range. You can see price consolidated, closed below the mid-range, retested the mid-range as resistance, came and swept the range low, closes the SFP, went up to the range high. It did not sweep it yet, right? You can see that it barely missed the top of that. Came back down, held the mid-range on H4 as a closing basis. Like, it has not closed below the mid-range yet. Excuse me. It has wicked into this demand zone, and if you can see, there is a weekly level right there. So it's holding that weekly level on H4 as well. So to me, it looks like it could come for these kind of equal highs. Usually liquidity builds up around here with people placing their stop losses, you know, on the outer edges of the range. But to me, it looks like we have, let's see, did this close as a higher high as well? Yeah, so technically, if you remember what I said on the daily time frame, we made that short-term higher high. Same thing here on H4. We did, not with the wicks, but using candle body for market structure again. We did make a higher high technically there. So if this is the higher low here, and we're going to go for that other higher high, take out the equal highs, I would say that I think there's a H1 supply zone. Yeah, so I would be looking for like price to kind of shop around here, get a spike up to take out these highs into this monthly this monthly level and H1 supply zone. If that did close as a SFP, you could take a short back down near the weekly open or something. Like, I could see how if we did come up here and do what I just explained, there are some equal lows here as well that I think if people are long right now, that they would be, let's see, what did I just do? Yeah, if people are long right now, the recent lows here wouldn't be a bad spot for, well, at least people most likely have put stop losses under these recent lows. So if we did take out the highs into the supply zone, came back down, I could see us taking out these lows. So that could be a target for your short setup if you were to take it up here. Or if you wanted to wait for price to do that, if you were long here, price comes up here, you take profit, wait for it to come back down, maybe sweep these lows, and you can get back in. You know, that you'll just have to see how price reacts after doing all this, but that's kind of what I'm looking for right now, is short-term upside to take out these highs into some of these key higher time frame levels, and then potentially looking for a short setup up there. Now, if we start to break some of these resistance levels, then I would start looking for, you know, I wouldn't be necessarily looking for short setups if we just keep breaking these levels. So, you know, that's kind of what I'm waiting for now, guys. Short-term upside, looking for short setups if the key high time frame resistance levels hold. Other than that, yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much all that I had to cover. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks.